Welcome to the Perfect Perception channel, where we delve into the intricacies of human relationships. Today, we explore a question that has puzzled many for centuries: the complexity of finding a suitable partner. In this quagmire of emotions, expectations, and societal pressures, navigating the path to a fulfilling relationship can often feel like an uphill battle. So why is finding a partner so difficult? Let's dive into the 10 reasons. Starting off with reason number 1, high expectations. In the quest to find a partner, we often dream up an ideal image in our minds. This image could be influenced by fairy tales, romantic movies, or even social media's curated snapshots of perfect relationships. These sources can make us believe that finding a partner should be effortless, like a magical spark that ignites the moment our eyes meet. High expectations are not inherently bad. They can help us set standards for the kind of respect, love, and treatment we deserve. However, the problem arises when these expectations become unrealistic. We start expecting perfection from our potential partners, ignoring the fact that everyone, including ourselves, has flaws and imperfections. Imagine going to a grocery store with a shopping list that's impossible to fulfill. You're looking for a fruit that's sweet as a strawberry, as juicy as an orange, with the crunch of an apple, and the size of a watermelon. The likelihood of finding such a fruit is slim to none, right? Similarly, when we set the bar too high, we might be setting ourselves up for disappointment. This doesn't mean you should settle for less. It's about understanding the difference between high standards and unrealistic expectations. It's about embracing the fact that everyone is a unique blend of strengths and imperfections, and that's what makes us human. Having high standards is not a bad thing, but unrealistic expectations can certainly limit your options. Moving on to the second reason, fear of rejection. Now, this is a big one, and it's something that everyone at some point or another has grappled with. But why does it hold such sway over our attempts to form relationships? Well, let's dive into the psychological aspect of it. You see, humans are social creatures. We're hardwired to seek connections, to belong. So, when we're faced with the possibility of being turned down, our brains interpret it as a threat to our social survival. It's akin to a primal fear, and it's no wonder that it can feel so paralyzing. But here's the thing. Fear of rejection can hold us back from taking chances, from stepping out of our comfort zones. It can make us overly cautious, preventing us from meeting new people or pursuing potential partners. In essence, it can keep us from experiencing the joys of love and companionship. However, it's important to remember that rejection is a part of life. Everyone experiences it, and it does not define your worth or the potential for future relationships. Overcoming this fear isn't about never facing rejection, but about learning to cope with it, to understand that it's not the end of the world, but just a part of the journey. Fear of rejection can be a major roadblock, but overcoming it can open many doors. So, the next time you feel that fear creeping in, take a deep breath, muster your courage, and take that leap. You never know where it might lead. A third on the list is lack of self-knowledge. Now, we often hear the saying, knowledge is power, but have you ever considered how this applies to self-knowledge? It's like a compass guiding us in the vast sea of life. It's knowing what makes you tick, what makes you smile, what irks you, and most importantly, what you want from a partner. Without this understanding, finding a partner can become a game of trial and error, leading to confusion and heartbreak. It's like trying to find your destination without a map, or even knowing what it looks like. You might stumble upon it by chance, but wouldn't it be easier if you knew the route? Think about it. If you don't know what you're looking for, how can you expect to find it? It's like going grocery shopping without a list. You might come home with bags full of items, but nothing that you actually need. But how does one gain self-knowledge? It's a journey, not a destination. It involves introspection, self-analysis, stepping outside your comfort zone, and facing your truths, no matter how uncomfortable they might be. It means recognizing your strengths, accepting your weaknesses, and understanding your desires. This isn't a process that happens overnight, but it's an investment that pays off in the long run. When you know yourself, you can communicate your needs more effectively, understand what you're willing to compromise on, and recognize the traits that are truly important to you in a partner. Knowing oneself is the first step towards finding the right partner. Fourth reason why finding a partner can be difficult is fear of commitment. You see, commitment is like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it promises a sense of security, a deeper bond, and a shared journey towards common goals. On the other hand, it can be downright terrifying. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, preparing to jump. You're not sure what's at the bottom, but you're expected to take the leap of faith anyway. Commitment, in its essence, is about making a choice. It's about choosing one person, one path, one future. It's about deciding to invest time, effort, and emotions into one relationship, and that's where the fear comes in. What if the path we choose turns out to be a dead end? What if the person we choose turns out to be the wrong one? What if the future we envision doesn't come to pass? This fear of commitment can act as a roadblock, preventing us from forming deep, meaningful relationships. It can make us hesitate, second-guess ourselves, or even run away at the first sign of seriousness. It can make us keep our options open, always on the lookout for something better, something more, something else. But here's the thing. No relationship is without its risks. No choice is without the possibility of regret. And no future is certain. Commitment is not about finding the perfect partner, but about building a beautiful relationship with an imperfect person. Commitment can be intimidating, but it's a crucial part of any serious relationship. Moving on to the fifth reason, past experiences. Isn't it astonishing how the echoes of the past can reverberate in the present? Think about it. Every person you've ever been involved with, every heartbreak, and every romantic triumph, they all leave an indelible mark on you. These experiences, especially the negative ones, can cast a long shadow over your future relationships. Each of us has a unique emotional baggage. It's like a suitcase that we carry around, filled with the memories and emotions from past relationships. This baggage can weigh us down, making it difficult to open ourselves up to new possibilities. We may unconsciously project past failures onto future relationships, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of disappointment. However, it's crucial to remember that not every relationship will be a replica of the ones that have come before. Each person you meet is a distinct individual with their own set of experiences and perspectives. It's unfair, both to yourself and to them, to judge a new relationship based on past ones. But how can you overcome this? The key is in understanding and accepting these past experiences as part of your journey. It's about learning from the past, not living in it. This is easier said than done, of course, but with time, patience, and perhaps a bit of professional guidance, it's entirely possible to unpack that emotional baggage, leaving you freer to embrace the future. Past experiences can shape us, but they shouldn't dictate our future. Sixth on our list is social pressure. It's a formidable opponent in the quest for finding a partner, often whispering in our ears with the voices of society, peers, and sometimes even our families. It can come in the form of societal norms and expectations, dictating who we should be with, when we should settle down, and even how our relationships should look like. Imagine a river, flowing naturally, following its own path. Suddenly, rocks and boulders, representing societal expectations, obstruct its course. The river, much like us, is forced to change its path, to adapt, often leading to unnatural bends and turns. This is what social pressure does to us. It alters our natural path, making the search for a partner a more challenging journey. From the pressure to find the one by a certain age, to the expectations of marrying within our own culture, race, or religion, these societal pressures can be constraining. They create a mold we're expected to fit into. But the truth is, love and relationships don't follow a set pattern. They're as unique as the individuals involved. Moreover, the pressure to constantly display our relationship status on social media platforms can create unnecessary stress and comparison, which can divert us from our original quest, finding a partner who truly resonates with us. Social pressure can be overwhelming, but it's important to remember that everyone's journey is unique. We must learn to navigate through these pressures, keeping our own happiness and well-being at the forefront. The seventh reason is compatibility issues. Compatibility, or the ability to coexist and thrive together, is an essential ingredient in any successful relationship. It's like a puzzle, where each piece must fit perfectly with the other to create a beautiful picture. But in reality, finding that perfect puzzle piece is not always a walk in the park. Consider this. We all are unique individuals, each with our own set of values, beliefs, habits, and quirks. Now, when you try to blend your lifestyle with someone else's, the differences can sometimes create friction. And while differences can spice up a relationship, too much of it can lead to constant clashes and misunderstandings. It's not just about sharing the same taste in music or movies. Compatibility goes deeper. It's about having shared goals for the future, similar moral compasses, and a mutual understanding of each other's needs and desires. But here's the catch. People often mistake compatibility for sameness. It's not about finding a clone of yourself, it's about finding someone who complements you, someone who can challenge you, inspire you, and help you grow. And remember, compatibility is not static. It can change over time as people evolve, which means it requires constant effort to maintain. So next time you're on the lookout for a partner, don't just focus on the sparks and butterflies. Dig deeper. Look for compatibility because it's the foundation upon which a lasting relationship is built. Compatibility is key, but it's not always easy to find. Eighth on the list is time constraints. Now, we're all familiar with the phrase, "time waits for no one," right? Well, it couldn't ring truer when it comes to finding a partner. Our modern world is fast-paced. We're constantly juggling work, studies, hobbies, and a social life. All these commitments can leave us with little to no time to dedicate to seeking love. Imagine this, you're a full-time professional, working long hours. You're also trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, hitting the gym, and catching up with friends and family. After fulfilling all these commitments, there's hardly any time left to meet new people and build meaningful relationships. And let's not forget, love isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time to really get to know someone. Time constraints can also lead to rushed decisions. You might feel pressured to settle down with the first person who comes along simply because you don't have the luxury of time to explore. But remember, it's important to take your time, to truly understand and connect with a person before taking the plunge. And then there's the aspect of timing. Sometimes you might meet the perfect person, but the timing just isn't right. Maybe they're not ready for a relationship, or you're too tied up with your own commitments. These situations can make finding a partner all the more challenging. Time is precious, and finding the right partner requires some investment. So make sure you're ready to invest that time before diving into the dating pool. Ninth reason is fear of change. And here we are, at the edge of comfort and the dawn of the unknown. Change is a part of life, but it can often be intimidating. This fear can paralyze us, preventing us from taking the leap and finding a partner. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, knowing the beauty that awaits us below, but the fear of the fall holds us back. You see, change implies a shift from the familiar to the unfamiliar, and that's where the fear resides. It's not necessarily the change itself that scares us, but the uncertainty that comes with it. We're creatures of habit, and when we find ourselves in a comfortable routine, it's hard to imagine anything different. When we consider finding a partner, we're not just thinking about the joy of companionship, we're also thinking about the changes that will inevitably come with it. Adjusting to another person's habits, compromising on decisions, sharing personal space. These are all changes that can seem daunting. But here's the catch. Change is not always a bad thing. Yes, it can be uncomfortable, but it's also the only way we grow. It's through change that we learn, evolve, and become better versions of ourselves. It's through change that we open ourselves to new experiences and possibilities. So, if the fear of change is holding you back from finding a partner, remember this. Change can be scary, but it's also a part of growth. Last but not least, the 10th reason is unrealistic romanticism. We've all seen it, those grand gestures and epic love stories that unfold on the silver screen. The problem is movies and TV shows often depict a romanticized version of love that's far from the truth. This can lead to unrealistic expectations about what love and relationships should look like. You might find yourself waiting for a love at first sight moment, a grand declaration of love in the pouring rain, or a partner who knows exactly what you're thinking without you having to say a word. But real relationships aren't scripted. They're messy, unpredictable, and require communication and compromise. Unrealistic romanticism can make it difficult to find a partner because it sets the bar incredibly high. Instead of looking for someone who makes you happy, you might be searching for a fairy tale that doesn't exist. Love isn't about grand gestures or epic love stories. It's about finding someone you enjoy spending time with, someone who respects you and treats you well. Additionally, romantic media often portrays love as the solution to all problems, which can lead to the belief that a relationship will complete you or make you happy. But it's essential to remember that happiness comes from within. No one else can provide it for you. Romance is beautiful, but it's important to separate fiction from reality. That wraps up our list of 10 reasons why finding a partner is so difficult. We've taken a deep dive into the complex world of relationships, examining high expectations, the fear of rejection, a lack of self-knowledge, the fear of commitment, past experiences, social pressure, compatibility issues, time constraints, the fear of change, and unrealistic romanticism. Each of these factors can play a significant role in the difficulties we face when seeking a partner. But remember, understanding these challenges is the first step towards overcoming them. By recognizing these issues, we can begin to address them, opening ourselves up to more fulfilling and meaningful relationships. It's a journey, not a destination, and it's okay to take your time and navigate through these complexities at your own pace. After all, the goal is to find a connection that enriches your life, not something that adds more stress or confusion. Thank you for joining us on the Perfect Perception channel. Stay tuned for more insightful discussions on human relationships.